So we're on a walking tour with a guide, Jan, and he was saying that this is original 1300s wall behind us. The cities at that point didn't need to be walled in for protection anymore, and they were allowed to tear down all their walls. And so that's the last remaining section here in Zutphen of original town wall, 1300s. Really cool stuff.
The first little chapel was 850, and then you can see the importance of the city because the church is that large, that big. And this is about the last tower is 1700, and older and older and older.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. You see there's a house, and you see the wall, city wall, and the left and right, they tore the wall down. This is the part where the Canadians entered the city during World War II. They came from that direction, from Deventer, from the north.
The Canadians.
And when you attack, when you come through that gate, you have this building as a blockade. So just the army, the soldiers had to go through this narrow alley. It's just a way of defense.
I understand what would be.
It's one of the first elderly houses, care houses in Holland.
First old age home in Holland. 1500s?
Yeah, about. And the gate was raised in 1733, but then the elderly house was already 200 years old.
Okay, yeah, 15 something.
The inhabitant made the stairs. He was inspired by the Eiffel Tower. And that's nice. You see the medieval houses, they all around 1340, 1400. And you see the border between the two roofs. See a grey wall.
Oh yeah.
They call it donkey back. Because when there's a fire on the one house, it was not so fast going to the other house.
Oh, okay.
That's why they built all these walls on the roofs. There's always lots of work in the old city, painting, restoring. And often they know that. And gasoline is 190.
190 per
195.
See, we're paying 185 Canadian for euro, for gasoline.
That's pretty, they're still repairing the wall. And they were built before the invention of the gunpowder. And they were defended with crossbows. And the towers were built 70 meters apart. You can see that one, the next one is about 70 meters.
Yeah.
Because when they were built too much out with 100 meters, they couldn't defend the middle. With
Crossbows wouldn't shoot that far. Yeah.
That's why they are also all built in this way. But it's a nice spot.
Yeah, beautiful back here.
A real cat.
Yeah.
It's going for a walk. Oh, okay.
There's another defense tower.
The next tower.
So in between here would have been wall, which is now missing.
This is torn down.
Okay.
So
That's
now,
the remains of the wall.
yeah. Those
Alcove?
alcoves.
Yeah.
People were allowed to, the poorest people were allowed to live in these alcoves because they didn't have houses.
Jan says in the 1300s, people lived in these little alcoves. They would come to the town and they had nowhere else to go and they would live here. And I asked if each corner was black because they would have a fire there, and he said no, because the men used to pee in the corners and the acid from the pee turns the bricks black. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Well, I guess most people do because there's not as much as one would expect.
Yeah.
People don't appreciate guns all over the world.
phone.
New city, 1340.
Yes.
Well, the old city started in 850, so.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Een mooie designstoel hoor. Wow. Mooie stoel.
Ja.
Probably furniture, you're always cleaning it.
Jan knows a hidden garden, he says.
Yeah, this is the original color of the building.
Okay. Wow, nice. Yeah, no, I definitely would never have found this place.
The hydrangeas back there. Yes, but I can't even.
There was lots of poverty around 1870 in Holland. And the real poor people, they have no houses. So the church, the Protestant church, Lutheran church, built little houses for people to live in. And this is one of them. And they became one door and one window. And it was about that long. And they lived there with many children, often widows or women alone. At the time, about 1880, there was a picture, 1890, of 90 people. They stood over there and they all lived over here. 90 with children and mothers and fathers.
1800s Dutch row house living. One window, one door. There was a pump right here, and then the public bathroom down in the corner. And it was all run by the Lutheran Church for the poor. So from the poor section of town where we just came, this would be one house for the rich. One house. Yeah, and says this is the highlight of the tour, the library. Catholic monks established the library in the 1300s. Oh yeah,
1300s.
amazing.
You have the remains of the quarrel between the Catholics and the Protestants. Protestants, they didn't want to have any statues in their church, so they destroyed everything what was Catholic, statues, paintings, and so on. So you can see here the marks of the sword.
Yeah,
It's all destroyed.
it's a shame.
It's a shame, yeah. And these are some leftovers from the church floor. There were all people buried in the church,
Oh yeah.
and they were all buried in such tombs. And then you see Jacob van Gilkerken. This is a gravestone.
1742.
Yes.
Huh.
And you know what? Beven is, I don't know what this is. Probably a noble family.
Yeah.
This is what I mean, eh? The family.
The crest, yeah.
Yeah.
So this room in our hotel, our guide from the walking tour, we started the trip here and I was looking at the paintings here. It looks old. The whole thing is one big painting. Early 1600s, this was painted, and it actually survived World War II. This room was not rebuilt. The only thing that was rebuilt was the roof. So the floor is original, the walls were original, and he told us a very interesting story So apparently, the woman in that painting there, she was the king's daughter, 1600s, of Zutphen. And they had French soldiers come and they were drinking too much Chardonnay or whatever. And this room here is even more original. It still has the original roof on it. And it had the same painting throughout this whole room. Well, they started sword fighting. They had a big duel, the French soldiers. And somebody accidentally slashed the wallpaper on the wall. And then they looked at each other and said, hey, this is fun. And they took their swords and they slashed and hacked up the whole painting in this room. And the only section that was left was that section right there. So they framed it in later years and saved it. So early 1600s. Always pay for the walking tour, guys. You'll learn interesting stuff.